Ubizo, lungibize engalweni. Ngiyokhalela bani nayi iphimbo lami liphindaphinde endabeni. Ngithi inyawo zami ngibeleze kulo mhlaba nemsini. Ngifunana noxolo engalweni.
Sawubona to you, Sawubona to yours, from one great spirit to another. Igama lami uThula Nomalivo. Welcome to Ubizo Daily. Today, we enter dangerous territory. And I'm a bit excited. Well, I'm excited. Not because it is hateful, most certainly not because it is divisive, but because it forces brutal honesty. Today, we ask, why do so many Black people still feel incomplete until they are approved by systems that historically oppress them? Why does success often feel more legitimate when it is recognized by European institutions? And why do some celebrate African excellence only after the West has applauded? It's only then that fellow Africans, or rather sons and daughters of Al-Kabulan, will applaud. Today, we speak about the religion of validation and how psychological dependency survives long after political oppression changes form. I've come to understand that colonialism was psychological engineering. Let's talk about that. Colonialism didn't just simply steal land, it reorganized self-worth. It taught generations that whiteness represented civilization, intelligence, beauty, authority, spiritual legitimacy, economic competence, and that Blackness was positioned as deficiency, primitive, unrefined, incomplete. This was not accidental, Great Spirit. It was infrastructure, because people who doubt themselves will seek external approval, and that approval, it becomes control. Let's speak about the need to be accepted. Look carefully and closely. Many still measure success by proximity to white institutions, white schools, white neighborhoods, white corporate spaces, white media recognition, white consumer markets, white cultural approval, and when those spaces reject us, some feel personally diminished. Why? Because many were trained to believe that legitimacy lives outside ourselves. And that is psychological colonization. Personally, I refuse. And in my refusal, let's speak about the performance of respectability. Many people exhaust themselves trying to appear acceptable, changing language, changing accents, changing names, changing appearance, hiding their truth of who they are, hiding their spirituality, minimizing culture, making themselves digestible, safe, non-threatening. And often this performance is rewarded, but at what cost? If acceptance requires the erasure of your authenticity, that is not acceptance. That is assimilation. And now I refuse. Let's talk about internalized inferiority. This is where the work becomes personal for you and I. Many communities unconsciously reinforce the system, celebrating foreign products over local excellence, trusting external expertise over indigenous wisdom, and treating African solutions as inferior. Whilst at that, waiting for outside approval before believing in our own brilliance. That is what Steve Biko warned us about. The oppressor becomes most powerful when they no longer need to be present, when they no longer need to be in the room. There comes a time where things change. The time has come. The revolution that was supposed to happen, I'll speak for what they call the South of Africa, of which I think it's the other way around. Not that I think of with the experience I've gathered, it's the North of Al-Kabula. Man, Call me a conspiracy theorist. It is what it is. We can live in a world, coexist in a world, and have different opinions, but there's so much BS that is going on in this world. And I just refuse, my spirit refuses to go with it. It refuses to go with it. I seek freedom. I seek freedom. And in me seeking freedom, it had to get to a point of an internal authority, my North Campus not being moved or shaken by the external. Whilst we're there, maybe let's speak about freedom and how it requires internal authority. You see, Great Spirit, real freedom begins when you stop asking systems built without you to validate your humanity, your beauty, your intelligence, your spirituality, your ideas, your leadership. This does not mean obviously rejecting collaboration. It simply means rejecting dependency. You must become capable of recognizing your own value before the world does. At some point, it almost got there for me. Before releasing my debut EP Ubizo in the year 2025, there were incidents that occurred leading to that had to remind me that this is what you are worth, sir. These are your missions here. Before other people quickly came on board and said, well, what's going on in your office? Oh, because there's nothing going on in your office. Let's move you to this one. And here's how we do things. And then distortion. Freedom is the goal. And let's talk about building without permission, which is something that I've done proudly and gracefully so. It's been said time and time again, the future belongs to those willing to build without applause, those willing to create schools, build media platforms and other businesses, those willing to protect indigenous knowledge, those willing to invest locally, those willing to trust Alkebulan scholarship, those willing to support Alkebulan business, and those willing to celebrate Alkebulan beauty through and through, and those willing to raise children who do not beg